I don't believe he would have tried to have harmed me. If he did, it would have been his last worst mistake.
A Hillsborough County murder suspect may have spent his last moments of freedom listening to a sermon from the Polk County Sheriff, Grady Judd. Polk County Bureau reporter Stacy DeSilva joining us live with this story. Stacy, I know the sheriff gives sermons every once in a while. He preaches every now and again, but this has to be a first.
Yeah, and he's been in law enforcement for 50 years, and this is a first. The sheriff says he was speaking to a congregation Sunday, and his phone kept going off. He ignored it until the speech was over, and he was shocked to find out what had been going on.
So that no one can say any of this.
Inside a packed Green Pond Baptist Church in Polk City Sunday, Sheriff Grady Judd was spreading a message about morality and doing the right thing, not knowing somebody accused of doing a very wrong thing was listening.
I continue to get cell phone is buzzing. Well, of course, I'm not going to stop in the middle of the sermon.
Once his sermon was over, the sheriff saw what all the buzzing was about.
Little did I know, my staff was trying to say, hey, there's a guy with a murder warrant in there with you.
Polk County deputies had tracked 56-year-old John Skeen to the church. He was wanted for a murder in Ruskin 2 days earlier. Deputies in Hillsborough County say Skeen shot and killed a man at a home they were staying at while fishing.
What I believe happened is he was going to come to church, rededicate his life with the minister, and then turn himself in to me. Only our sergeant and deputies arrested him before he got a chance to do that.
Skeen is a longtime member of the Green Pond Baptist Church.
Surreal, I believe, is the word some people use.
Pastor David Cheek says he and everyone at the church are in shock, not only over Skeen's arrest, but also how it happened.
You can't write this, and you cannot make this up. You can't write this.
Skeen is now in the process of being extradited to Hillsborough County. I'm told the suspect asked deputies if he could stay for the rest of the sheriff's sermon coming up at 6, what he did instead with deputies before being taken away in handcuffs. Keith?
Well, Stacy, how did the deputies track him to the church in the first place? And I'm sure the sheriff was just like, what is this all about? I mean, it happened so quickly.
It did, yeah. The sheriff didn't want to go into detail on that one. That's kind of insider information. He said it was unidentified investigative information that led them there. What I do know is deputies got the phone number of the suspect's brother, who was also inside the church, gave him a call, asked him to come outside, then sent him back inside to get the suspect. The suspect came out and was taken away without incident. Keith?
Stacy DeSilva reporting live for us in Polk County. Thank you.
Occurred here. We're at Brunel Parkway and Lori.
We were dealing with a sex offender. Now, he had already gotten in trouble for having sex with a child between 12 and 16 years of age. And ultimately, we're checking on the status of that, but he was out anyway on sex offender probation, and he violated as an absconder. So we locked him up in jail. They put a GPS on him, and he got out. And he continued to violate his conditions. So our detectives today got additional felony charges on him and came looking for him. Well, we found him down here on Candace. And as our deputies approached him for the second time today, the first time they were locating him to do a follow-up, and that's when they found out he was in violation. He ran from one of the deputies. As the deputy pursued him into a backyard, the guy spun around and then tackled him as if they were on a football field. They fought on the ground, and immediately the suspect grabbed the deputy's gun and ripped it out of his safety holster, broke the safety holster, held the deputy on the ground and said, "Stop there," and turned around and then ran. Our deputy ran back to his car and got his rifle and then went back into the pursuit for the suspect. Of course, by then, we've called for assistance. The city police came, many deputies came, aviation came, as well as our Marine unit, because 2 of our canines tracked the suspect into the lake, Lake Bonnet, and we saw no evidence that he left the lake. This started about 2:45, and now we're well over an hour. The water's cold, the air's cold, so we were searching the lake side because we didn't know if he was in the lake or if he had gotten out and was hiding in the vegetation, but we knew he was armed with our gun. Our Marine Patrol found him in the weeds about 50 to 75 yards offshore and took him into custody. After we took him into custody, we read him his rights. He didn't have the firearm on him, but then he took us back to where he entered the water and said he dropped the firearm in that particular area. So we have an article search underway right now. We will find the firearm. So he's going to jail for a litany of charges, and we'll have more details in the press release in the morning. But the good news is he chose not to shoot us, for which we're grateful, and we chose not to shoot him, for which I know he's grateful. At the end of the day, he's in custody. Our deputy's not hurt. He's not hurt. He's a little cold and a little wet, but hey, at the jail, I have blankets and heaters, so he's going to be okay.
What's his name? His
name is Curtis Young Jr. He's 53 years of age.
And just so people understand, you were pointing the gun down. That's what he did to your deputy? He was pointing the gun at him?
They were on the ground fighting, and he got a hold of the gun while the deputy's on the ground fighting with him and broke it out of the holster. It's a safety holster. That's not supposed to happen. So obviously, we've got administrative issues to look into, because if you look at the holster, as I did a few minutes ago, it is ripped in half. So he tore the gun out, jumped up, the deputy's on the ground. He's holding the deputy at gunpoint and tells him, back off. Well, we're grateful that he decided not to shoot us. He certainly had every opportunity to do that.
Do you know, Sheriff, how long you've had these holsters?
I have no idea. I know we've had holsters as long as we've had deputies. I just don't know how long we've had those holsters. But at the end of the day, there'll be a complete and thorough follow-up, because that holster never should have given way under these circumstances. That's why we give them a safety holster.
Sheriff, this is also very close to McKeel Academy. School was just letting out at that time. I mean, this definitely could have been, really even worse than what it was. I mean,
certainly, obviously, we had a lockdown here. This guy didn't really want to fool with the kids, but we locked down the school to protect the children in the event he ran that way. He didn't want to hurt us. He wanted to escape. But he was wearing a GPS monitor, and we saw the GPS tracked him all the way into the lake. And at the end of the day, he's in custody. Now, at the same time, there's a stolen vehicle that the Highway Patrol and we're chasing around on the boulevard just, a couple of miles away. So it was a very confusing scene. I understand they got that guy in custody too. So it was a good day. Cops 2, bad guys 0.
And that was 2 unrelated cases?
Totally unrelated.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sheriff.
All right.
Thank you. Yep. Church off. Yeah. Church off. Yeah.
So we can say